Cool. So yeah, we're here with our new books for this week.
Yep.
Got some books from last week that we just didn't have time to read before the show. So
In case you don't know who we are,
I'm Tanner,
and I'm Chris. So,
and we're with Unknown Comics.
yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
I'm not even wearing a Unknown Comic shirt today. I suck.
God.
That's okay. That's all right.
That's going to be docked out of your.
Something.
Yeah.
Have to dock myself.
Yep.
So today we're doing a comic book talk.
We had to. Now I didn't have a ton of books come out this week, but everything that I had was like awesome.
I think it was a 5 Wednesday month, right?
I think
So it's kind of spread out. It wasn't a whole lot.
that
of
makes
new
for a
stuff.
weird month.
Yeah. I had, I think we both still have something we had to read from last week. And then we've got a few new things this week. There wasn't a whole lot of number ones.
At least not like
Not big titles.
big publisher number ones. There were some independent number ones that.
Yeah. So we've gone through some of those, read what we can today, since books just dropped today anyway. So I don't. You want to kick it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I finished up my stuff from last week. I read Eat the Rich #2. It's from Boom Comics, being written by Sarah Gailey, and I think Pius Bach is doing the art.
Yeah.
Yeah. This book is awesome.
Yeah.
Both #1 and #2. It's creepy. That just builds suspense the whole time, and it's just unsettling. The main character is going off with her fiance
Okay.
to meet his family, and they're all super rich. So the whole community is super rich, and she discovers in the first issue she goes to this retirement party for the butler,
Yeah.
and she sneaks away kind of early. Well, as she sneaks away, she sees the secret party going on underneath the dock at the same time. Well, part of your retirement for working for these people is you get to be eaten by them.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, she discovers that, and so issue 2 is her like freaking out,
Yeah.
and
Because that's weird.
yeah, and she's like halfway friends with the nanny, and she tells the nanny like, "This is what they're gonna do," and she's like, "Yeah, I know, it's in the contract."
Okay.
So yeah, it's super creepy, super unsettling. It's a good time of year for this kind of book.
Yeah. I think that that's weird. The other version of the cover was the pink one. Mm-hmm. And it's misprinted because it still says #1 on it.
Yeah,
And Boom actually came out today and said they will not be going back to print to fix that. So if you got one that's like that, you got one that's like that. Just the way it is.
a lot of times those end up being worth more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I don't know if it will be this time because it is still a misprint that's not going to get fixed. A lot of the
Right.
misprints here recently, they'll go back to print and then send you a whole new version of it, and then it's up to the retailer to destroy it. Now, whether they do or not, I don't know. But
Right. Those are the ones that get to be worth a lot because
yeah,
so many copies got destroyed.
yeah. So they do actually become pretty rare. Now, this being a Boom Studios book, now Boom has been getting a lot of hits, so a lot of their 1s and 2s and 3s have actually been selling quite a bit, but still nothing like what you're going to see at Marvel or DC. I don't think.
Yeah.
So.
I've liked a lot of stuff Boom's been putting out.
Yeah.
And,
They've been grabbing some good licenses,
And-
and they've been
and-
grabbing some good, creators to bring in stuff.
a lot of it, I think, gets TV and movie deals pretty fast.
Yeah, them and Image was kind of doing that for a little bit, but then,
Yeah.
it feels like Boom's kind of like I said. I think they're just grabbing up those licenses and seeing good stories.
Yeah, that's kind of why I gravitate towards the smaller publishers because they do a lot of just good stories that the bigger publishers are I don't know if they're too afraid to touch or
I think
they're just they're already set in their style too much, kind of.
I think that, and also, it's hard for them to go away from we're so focused on our heroes or whoever they may be to
Just stories.
just
yeah.
do a story. I mean, you're seeing DC somewhat do something with a Black Label
Black
now
Label
with
stuff.
Tynion's book, but overall, they're still just superhero stuff. Even most of the Black Label stuff is like this Batman Bigsby here. It's its own thing, but it's still all DC characters being used.
Which
So,
I mean, we're going to be getting more that aren't necessarily DC characters in October.
yeah,
Soul Plumber and Refrigerator Full of Heads.
Yeah. Now those are some of that stuff was out of some of the other stuff they've already done, though, right?
Yeah, Refrigerator Full of Heads is a sequel to Basket Full of Heads.
Yeah. Yeah. Which that was.
Yeah, it's something's like Midnight Slaughterhouse
Yeah.
book, something like that. It's a
I'll have to.
it's a
my
creative
brain's-
line. Yeah.
My brain's trying to remember what that came from, but so the only book I had left from last week, which I didn't realize because we talked about Moon Knight last week, was Moon Knight 3. This is a variant cover with Miles on it. 10 years of Miles Morales, pretty cool. So Moon Knight 3. So basically, like I said, we've been talking about the left hand and coming in and trying to show Moon Knight up and kind of get him back in business. And this issue, they actually finally meet each other in costume and are fighting.
Ooh, that's cool.
So it was pretty action packed, pretty fun. You kind of see him trying to show Moon Knight why he's wrong for taking care of vampires and letting these different people come in, and he doesn't quite understand why he doesn't have this awesome fighting style and why he doesn't remember everything like the previous hands have, you know. And so eventually gets to the point where, you know, Moon Knight kicks his butt and says, the only reason I'm so much better than you is because I've had to earn my way.
Right.
I didn't just get some dude's memory.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. I liked it. It was pretty action packed. I'm interested to see where that's going to keep going. It's been one of our best sellers. It's even outdoing Batman right now.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people are picking up the Moon Knight. So it's been really good.
It's kind of something fresh.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. The last, you know, like I said, it's the third issue. It's been good. So that was the last thing I needed to read from last week, and finally got through it. And so if you're not picking up Moon Knight, make sure you are. It's pretty good. I like it a lot. So
we're gonna get into this week's stuff. If for those of you watching, let us know in the chat what you guys are reading this week. We'd love to hear from you guys too.
yeah, might be some spoilers if you haven't already picked some of this stuff up. So
where you want to start? You want to start with something we both read?
yeah, we can start with the Vault comic there.
Okay, so we both read Human Remains #1 from Vault Comics. Let's see, it is written by Peter Milligan and art by Sally Gantrino. Gantier or something like that.
Yep.
Something Italianish.
Vault has some interesting titles altogether. This one was interesting. Weird.
So, yeah.
I didn't quite know where to go with it, but
I mean, it only took a few pages in. I was like, it's a quiet place.
yep. Yeah. In a different form of thing. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's a quiet place with emotions instead of sounds.
Yeah. Yeah. It was it's bloody. It was easy to read. I like that. I didn't feel like you were missing anything. You go through it pretty quick. But like I said, Vault's got some interesting titles. Yeah, maybe I'll maybe read 2 or 3 of this one, just to kind of see where it goes.
Yeah, I plan on keeping reading it. Speaking of Vault Comics, you can head over to our YouTube channel, and I just did a video about their series Barbaric,
Yeah.
which was really good.
Yeah,
And
a lot of people like that.
it's coming back next year with the next story arc.
Yeah, and they've done a good job too of getting some different creators to own stuff to video and to TV and stuff like that too. So they've got a show on Sci-Fi right now from one of their books. So
Yeah.
yeah, so Vault's getting there. They've got some good creators. We've done some exclusives with them in the past. They're good people. But it is interesting. Like this book, I don't know. I liked it better than the other 2 #1s.
I
I'll
thought
get to here in a little bit.
I liked it a whole lot, but
Yeah.
I'm all about the gory monster
Yeah.
stuff.
And it's funny because they were like, we think it's an alien, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, and to me it looked like it was like a cross between Tyranids and Cthulhu.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, you finally see it there at the very end. For the most part, it's just this.
It's an insect with tentacles.
Yeah, these big long legs coming out of a portal. So, but Human Remains #1. Like I said, I liked it. I liked it better than the other 2 #1s I'll talk about here in a minute. As far as just the way the story reads, how it goes, you don't feel lost at all. It was pretty good for all those reasons for me.
You don't have to. You don't really have to think about anything.
Yeah.
It's just entertaining, which is enjoyable.
I was telling my kids this the other day. We were talking about different authors and stuff like that. My daughter's having to read The Hobbit right now for school. And overall, she said, I like the fact that the author does such a good job of setting the scene.
That he does.
And I said, yes, he does it very well. He oversays it, actually. But I think, as far as that goes, is like the less your brain has to do when you're reading something, the better off it is because you can just enjoy the story. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I think like with this one, that's something that's what you got with Human Remains.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just able to read the story.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good.
Okay. What you got?
All right. I've got all number ones over here. So I'll start off with, I've got 2 Scout comics. Let's start with the Night of the Cadillacs. So Scout Comics, we haven't been doing a whole lot of stuff with this one. This one is mature reading. And this one is being written by Jake Hearns and Jeff Marsick. Interior art is by Kirk the Savage Manley. So this one was pretty interesting. The art inside is somewhat realistic. You can kind of see his face up there in that top left, the panel. It's not always on point, but it's pretty good. But there's this girl, Hope. It's kind of, I'm guessing, what the book's going to center around. And there's these different gangs coming after her for some reason. A guy, it looks like one of the gangs might be vampires. I don't know if they all are. There's some kind of weird creatures coming after her. It's all about a blood moon thing coming on here. But she gets saved by a guy. He picks her up, and I guess at some point, 14 years ago was the last time there was a full blood moon, and her mom was taken away. And so this guy knows something about her mom. And it kind of leaves you at that. She's kind of getting chased down. There's all these gangs, a little bit of action-packed stuff. It's okay, I think, so far. Like, there's not really a whole lot of meat to go off yet. Mm-hmm. You're just basically the introduction of this Hope character, and that's really all we know so far.
Did you feel lost reading that?
I didn't feel like I knew the whole, like, what was going on with it. Mm-hmm. Kind of like I was just saying, like that
kind of contrasts with the Human Remains where you weren't lost at all. That lays everything out for you.
You knew where you were going, and I feel like when you get to a story like that, it's just, as the reader, if you know nothing about anything, then hopefully I'm going to come back to the next issue to try to figure out more. And I'm guessing that's maybe what the writers are trying to do there, risky, right?
And I understand what they're doing. I mean, trying to kind of create an air of mystery, I guess. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it'll hook you. But I think you have to pull it off really, really well for that hook to set,
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I'm new to the Scout comic stuff, so, I mean, it could be that this is like maybe a volume 2 of something, but I don't think it is. It seems like it's all brand new. Now, this Tart book, which is also from Scout Comics this week, this one is being written by, and I won't say Scout Comics, I mean, this stuff is like hardcore. This is being written by Kevin Joseph and interior arts by Ludovic Sali. This one I was completely like, okay, I don't know where you want to go with this.
It's like a chaos dude on the front.
Yeah, so it's Tart, Devils, and Demigods, and basically it's about these people. I'm guessing they get put into. It doesn't even explain where the people come from. So that was interesting. So you have no idea where these people are coming from. But somehow, eventually, these people with these kind of somewhat powers are fighting off demons. You know that much, and they get to basically a place that is, well, my brain's lost it. Hold on, I'll find it. Stonehenge.
Okay.
So she figures out, okay, we're fighting these demons in Stonehenge in the future. So she goes right back to the past where they're fighting them at, and she knows what she can blow up. She finds out it's like a portal for the demon to come through.
Uh-huh.
So that's why Stonehenge looks like nothing now, because they blew up most of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now we know.
And then if one of them dies, they goes to hell, but they're all fighting demons, so we know that much. But outside of that, I'm just like, I didn't have any idea what was going on with this book.
Yeah.
I was very confused with and it's a thick book too.
That's two hard things to overcome on a number one. It's too big.
Yep.
And it doesn't give you enough information to make you want to come back.
Yeah, and again, maybe it's a volume 2 of something, and I just don't have the pretext, but it didn't feel that way. Felt like it was all just happening right there, and then like nothing's laid out for you at all. Even reading it, I felt like, maybe there was a couple spots in the panels they could have like given you a little box of like, telling you where you're at. You know what I mean? Like now they're back in this place or that place. Just giving you some pretext. So I didn't feel like I got that with that one, either of those. So, but you have a couple number ones over there too,
so
right?
I've got one more number one.
Yep.
And that's Gun Honey from Titan Comics.
This is the Adam Hughes FOC cover.
I thought this was awesome, and not just because of the cover.
Yep.
It's like it's the whole thing is like spy assassin action. You kind of jump in the middle of a story. So I guess it starts with a flashback.
Yeah.
So you're a little lost at first, but by the end of the book, you know what's going on.
Yeah. You do get there.
Yeah, you do get there.
Yeah.
It reads fast. There's lots of action. I think the artwork was done really well, and the way the panels flow was engaging.
Yeah.
I don't like it when there's too many just 9-box pages.
Yeah.
Because
Like
that's boring.
Doomsday Clock.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But then if your panel layout's too extravagant, then it's hard to read.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Yeah. You want to be able to flow. You want to be able to follow. I think for sure. This one was, I think, kind of pretty boxy, like you're talking about.
So
yeah.
This one I ordered just because of it was on our FOC list.
Yep.
And mostly just to get the cover. So I didn't. Last week, I think number 2 was on FOC, and I ended up not getting it just because I hadn't read number 1 yet and wasn't sure if I was going to keep it. Definitely worth reading. So I'm going to pick number 2 up off the shelf when it gets here.
Yeah.
I think it's a
I think it's a miniseries.
like a 3-part or something. It's not very long.
Titan doesn't do a lot of ongoing or multi-part books. Usually their stuff's usually a few issues long, and then they'll either restart or. But usually a lot of their stuff coincides with TV show or movie. But look, some of these smaller things like this, where they have the other little brand up there.
Yeah.
Like I think they had the. What was it? The Magician one. I can't remember what it is now, but they have
This
another
one is Hard Case Crime.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this is the ones that usually don't go with like their TV stuff is usually like that. So.
And I mean, I could. It was good. I could see why it wouldn't go with anything on TV. It was a pretty generic action story.
And I think they have some. I don't know if this had a TV show at some point, but I know one of the covers was a photo cover, and it didn't say cosplay. It said photo cover.
I know which cover you're talking about.
I was like, is this something I don't know about?
Yeah.
I know Titan does a lot of British stuff, so maybe.
That was my last number 1 for this week.
Okay. So what did you have for Jeff DC this week?
My DC book was Checkmate, number 4 of 6.
Okay.
This is like the Illuminati Justice League.
Okay.
It's being written by Bendis, so the story itself it moves kind of slow.
Yeah.
But that's just how he writes, though. It's not bad. It's not something that I just would go out of my way to collect, make sure I'm getting everything of, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Basically, Leviathan and Mark Shaw have created their own country,
Okay.
and this group called Checkmate, which so the main guy of Checkmate, nobody knows his identity, and then there's Green Arrow, Damian Wayne, Talia al Ghul, and a couple of others. I think John Constantine's in it. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But it's those guys, and they're just trying to figure out what Shaw is doing.
Okay.
What his motives are. He's just kind of being sneaky, creating this utopian society and tricking the world into thinking that it's awesome, and
Yeah.
they're trying to get to the bottom of what he's actually doing.
Interesting.
They rope Lois Lane is a part of Checkmate, and through her, Superman gets roped into it. And
Oh yeah.
so
She's gonna do whatever she wants.
yeah,
It's like he likes her or something.
something like that.
It's dumb.
She's like, you're gonna have, this is gonna get ugly. You're gonna have to look the other way.
Yeah. Well, I think my DC book this week was Batman versus Bigby, A Wolf in Gotham. This one, it was interesting. It's Black Label. So Bill Willingham and Brian Level, those are the two creators we have here. Bill Billingham, I think he is writer and creator of Fables, and Brian Level, interior variant pencils. You have a couple other people, of course, on the book as well. It starts off pretty quick. You're already in the action. You're already at a scene. The wolf is, whoever this wolf is already there. You know, killing people, and they're doing their detective work, getting clues. He's got multiple Robins working with him throughout the book. Then we also see these other people that we don't really quite know what they're doing yet. Or where their part of the story is going to fit in, kind of getting a little bit of two stories, kind of going through the whole thing. But it's been good. I liked it. We get introduced to a new lieutenant for the police force. So there's a lot of introductory kind of going on, getting you kind of prepared for what's going to happen later in the issues. It was pretty wordy, but I still felt like it was easy to read. It moves along just fine. So overall, I liked it. They did a pretty good job with this one. You know, I am curious to pick up issue 2. I think that's a big thing is when I get done with the book, I'm like, do I have the feeling that I want to read the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I would with this. I liked it. You know, we end with Batman finding who he thinks is this character, this wolf, who may be, and then he wakes up in the Batcave, and he's like, where am I? And then he sees, the big T-Rex in the Batcave with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I liked that last little splash there, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, Batman versus Bigby, A Wolf in Gotham, Black Label from DC. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. So that's a good pickup, I think, for this week.
Yeah, DC has some really good books coming out in the near future for like Halloween and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. I know they had the Reptile one, which I've heard is pretty good too. I haven't had a chance to go back and pick that one up.
I was kind of sad. Are You Afraid of the Dark Side? Got pushed to next week.
Yeah,
I was super excited for that.
You're ready to pick it up.
So I will be reading that for next week's show.
Yeah. Well, cool. Then you got one more.
I got one more. I've been reading Amazing Fantasy.
Yep.
It's been really good. I like the art in it. It's kind of like the story is not as easy flowing as some of the others we've talked about.
Yeah.
It's a little bit on the confusing side, but I think once we get there's 2 more issues left. Once we get them all, and I think you can sit there and read all 5 issues back to back, it'll make more sense.
Yeah, and then this is going with Black Widow, Peter Parker, and Steve Rogers.
Yeah,
right?
and it's World War II Steve Rogers,
Okay.
teenage Spidey, and Black Widow when she was still in spy school.
Okay.
And they end up on this island. It kind of alludes to this is some sort of limbo or purgatory type place.
Okay.
That they're all actually dead. Pete finds Uncle Ben, and somehow they all find their ways into these different tribes.
Okay.
So Pete finds a tribe of bird people that he hooks up, and Uncle Ben is there.
Huh. Yeah, I think I remember that in the first issue. Yeah.
Yeah, Cap, he finds a manticore and saves this lady and her son. And it's like, it's this tribe of women that have been giving all of the sons to the orcs to keep the orcs away.
Okay.
And so Cap is basically teaching them to save themselves so that they don't have
fantasy now. Yeah.
so that they don't have to sacrifice kids to orcs. And Black Widow has somehow, she ends up being betrothed to the king of the island. And then issue 3, something's going on, and it's building up to a war between all of these clans. And there's even more clans that our heroes aren't associated with.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's borderline confusing, but I think once
Yeah.
you can sit down and read everything from beginning to end, it'll make
make
more
more sense. Yeah, I know my kids have. They've been reading it. They kind of took the first issue from me, and I haven't been able to get it back.
The art's cool. I like the art. And I like the concept of the story a whole lot. I'm just need to get the last. I need it to wrap up to make sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how they want with those little. They've got you right.
Right.
I mean, that's the whole point with that one. So, the last one we haven't read this one yet, but kind of one we're gonna get to, Inferno. So I just folded the book in half there. Don't worry about me. It's okay. I don't ship the book, so you're fine. Inferno number 1. This one, of course, is the start of Hickman's last hurrah with the X-Men, as far as we know. He should be hopefully still overseeing some things, but I was going to start to sit down and read this one, but if any of you have read Hickman stuff, you know it's going to take me more than just a few minutes to probably read through this thing. But again, the art looks great. Who's doing the art on this one? Got to go through all of his pages of stuff to even figure that out. I think it's the U, but I'm not sure. Might be you. Lionel U. But it looks good. It looks like there's a lot of stuff happening in here. I mean, this sucker is a thick comic book. So we'll see where this goes. Inferno 2 is on our Final Order cutoff stuff this week. So I'm going to try to get this read. That's a pretty cool. Just panels right there. You know, there's a lot of cool stuff happening here. So we're really excited about Inferno, kind of see where it's going to go. You've been loving the X-Men stuff so far with
Jerry Duggan stuff has been really good.
Yeah, so
it's fun.
I think I'm kind of interested to see how it's all going to tie in and how it's going to finish it up. Of course, some other stuff that came out this week was Deathstroke Inc. Didn't have a chance to get that one yet. Again, with it being a 5 Wednesday month, it's just kind of spread out the book titles.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was out this week as well. This is the issue where
Spider-Man's out every week.
Peter Parker apparently is out this week. Next week, is Ben Reilly. So probably should read that one, kind of see what happens to him. So but we'll get to that. But you guys let us know what you guys are reading. Let us know if you want us to talk about certain books, and we can do that kind of stuff. So
and so make sure you come back tomorrow night at 7 Central for our weekly podcast. We'll be talking about all kinds of fun pop culture stuff, and then after the show, we're going to Venom.
Yep.
And then,
did you hear that Eminem made a new song?
No.
I'm guessing it's going to be just Carnage repeated now instead of Venom.
So he actually doesn't. He only says Venom once, but the way he says the rest of the lyrics, that's all you can hear.
That's all you can think of is Venom. So I'm thinking that's how Carnage is going to be. It's just going to be Carnage, and then you're just going to keep repeating that for the same tone, probably too. It's probably just going to be a word for word, just fill in Carnage for.
He went in the studio and said it once, and the producer did everything else.
Yeah, it was just like repeat.
Copy paste. So come hang with us tomorrow night. Friday at 4, I will be out, but Brandon will be here for Magic Live.
Yep.
And then Monday afternoon at some point, we don't have a time set aside yet, but we're going to do an Inktober special.
Yeah. Inktober. I wonder if we got anybody to make that art yet.
I've been working on it.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody's working on it.
It'll be ready by Friday.
It's like somebody's making it, I guess. It's not me. Well, awesome.
Yeah. So thanks, you guys, for tuning in.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
And we'll see you next time.
Later.